As you know, the research shows that logo-imprinted branding products are very powerful marketing tools for your nonprofit. That's why the nonprofit world is the largest consumer of nonprofit branding products. In a $20 billion industry, nonprofits purchase $3 to $4 billion each year. But here's the thing. While they can be very important marketing tools, they can also hurt your brand. And therein lies the purpose of this post, which is the second in a series about protecting your brand from logo-imprinted branding products that are inappropriate to your level of quality. In the first post, I told you about the Tom Thumb radio and how the manufacturer intentionally reduced the quality, keeping the product looked the same, the good one and the bad one, intentionally reduced the quality to get to a low price point. And by so doing, put the brands at risk, the brands whose logos were on there, put them at risk. And I told you about Outward Bound, who purchased the water bottles to save purchased them from another vendor to save 35 cents and ended up with bottles whose tops didn't fit and they leaked. Now I'm going to tell you how the second thing happens. The first is an intentional act by a vendor, by a factory. And you have to be your vendor has to be very careful about what factories he or she uses. The second one is a standard universal issue that applies to all products and all factories and all vendors. It's the issue of quality control. We once had a competitor who sold the basic C-handled 10 or 11 ounce coffee mug at something like 50 cents less than we could sell it for. So we asked the executives at Libby Glass Company, the biggest one in the country, what he was up to. And they checked through their distributors and they found out that he was buying seconds. Keep that in mind, seconds, because now I'm going to tell you how price and quality interact. A coffee mug comes out of a mold, it goes into a kiln. The kiln is a big, vast, massive thing, and it comes out on a big conveyor belt, having been cooked at 2,000 degrees or something like that. They come out and the conveyor belt may have 40 mugs wide, and there's somebody at the end look at them and tossing out the bad ones, the ones that have a dimple or a crack, the ones whose handle isn't quite secure, the ones that have possibly a little run in the glaze. A really solid factory is tossing out everything with a flaw. A sleazy vendor is then buying those with flaws. They're seconds, and there are even thirds, and can sell them at a very cheap price. Now, they go through the kiln again, because now you buy something from your vendor has a factory, put your logo on it, so they go through the kiln again to fire it once more and have the glaze turned molten, your logo slides sort of beneath it, it anneals and it's a solid permanent part of the mug, and then they come out and once again, somebody's tossing out the bad ones. And once again, they can decide to leave bad ones in. They can have a standard of flaw, a standard of quality below which they're not going to ship products this high or that high. But because you are dependent upon the public, you're dependent upon public support and public affinity, you cannot give your supporter a mug that has a flaw, a mug that they're going to start looking at and say, ooh, and they're not going to pull it out of the cupboard. They're going to pull out another mug because they don't want to use the one with the slight crack or whatever. So there's the thing. Your quality, the quality of your product, and the price is determined by an unseen character who's sitting at the end of a production process. In the tote bag factory, in the radio factory, in the pen and pencil factory, every factory has quality control, and the issue for you, if you're going to serve your public properly, the issue for you is the level of quality control. If you order 288 mugs, the factory, a good factory, will put your logo on something like 310 or something like that, or 320, and put them through the kiln. And then they're able to freely discard every bad mug, so you get only the good ones, but of course that adds a little bit to the cost. Don't buy for price, because when you're buying for price, you're indulging the factory and letting it ship you the bad ones as well as the good ones. Insist that your vendor only deal with the highest quality factories. The reason is simple. A product with your logo will enhance the affinity, will make a supporter feel proud to be associated with you, or it will hurt you if it disappoints your supporter.